He told me that when he saw the Christmas tree and he realized, and she sat there and said she was taking it over to the rental to spend that time with Christine with the tree, it really upset him. I know that was one of the triggers, I guess you'd say, for him.
Why do you think that upset him so much?
Christine left him. Janelle is still his wife. What he was expecting from her was support. Thought what he saw happening and what he...
So he feels like she picks sides.
Yeah.
The Christmas tree drama. Classic. So, according to Robyn, Kody was apparently triggered by Janelle having a tree in her apartment. Why? Because the tree was apparently a bold statement that Janelle was siding with Christine in the divorce and somehow, in Robyn's mind, not being supportive of Kody. Really? A Christmas tree equals a betrayal? Sure, Robyn. That makes total sense. Honestly, it seems much more likely that Kody was experiencing some serious FOMO, fear of missing out. He's watching everyone else gather together at Christine's place, no doubt enjoying Christmas with a tree and, let's be real, Christine's vibe, fun, memorable, and way more festive than Robyn's place ever could be. But nope, it's apparently just Janelle being a traitor because she has a tree in her home. The real issue here, I think, is Kody's fragile ego. He can't stand the thought of everyone having a good time without him. I mean, it must sting to see your family moving forward, having happy, non-miserable holidays without you. It's the ultimate reminder that things go on just fine without him. And honestly, how can he handle that? So, according to Robyn's logic, if someone's celebrating Christmas with different family members, they shouldn't have a tree in their own home. Because that's somehow a declaration of war on Kody's fragile holiday kingdom. Honestly, it's absurd. A Christmas tree doesn't mean Janelle is taking sides. It just means she's celebrating the season. Simple as that. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Oh, I totally believe that multiple original siblings told Robyn's daughters that they don't belong and aren't part of the family. I mean, really, multiple siblings, right? It makes perfect sense, said no one ever. What I actually believe, based on everything Robyn has said over the years, is that Robyn was the one who told Aurora and Brianna they didn't belong, and they weren't one of the Browns. She just conveniently threw the OG-13 under the bus to make herself look innocent. I mean, it's like when Robyn told her kids the OG-13 didn't want to spend holidays with them. Was it 2020 or 2021? Who even knows at this point? It's all a blur of manipulation. And let's not forget when Robyn used Kody as her personal attack dog, convincing him that Christine was a bad sister wife. Classic move. So when Aurora said, many people said we didn't belong, and didn't specify which people, I can't help but wonder if she meant people outside the family. Because last time I checked, Aurora and Gabe were on pretty good terms. I mean, just last season, Aurora mentioned how Gabe would run into her at school, always giving her a hug and telling her he loved her. This was after Robyn's lovely little family drama completely tore everything apart, mind you. So now suddenly, they're all mean and telling her she doesn't belong? Sure, okay, let's be real. Both Aurora and Brianna are just parroting stuff Robyn has said. These kids didn't come up with these feelings on their own. Maybe I'm being petty, but if I were in their shoes, at their age, I'd definitely be holding a grudge against Robyn, her kids, and pretty much everyone else. But surprise, surprise, they didn't. That is, until this season. How convenient. If all of this went down, I could maybe see it happening when the families first merged. Teenagers are already dealing with enough drama on their own, let alone being thrust into this mess. It was a recipe for disaster from the start. And in one of the couch talks, didn't Maddie, Logan, and maybe even Hunter mention how they had to make all these sacrifices and adjustments? They also said they wish Robyn had to do the same. Though, of course, it wasn't worded quite like that. Then there's Aurora, who, just last season, said she and Gabe would still see each other at college, hugging each other. So yeah, I think it's safe to say Robyn has really brainwashed those girls. But hey, we all know Robyn hears only what she wants to hear. Like when she heard Christine say she wanted nothing to do with her or her kids. Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what was said, except it wasn't. Robyn's version of reality doesn't exactly line up with what actually went down. But then again, when has it ever? Kody's habit of referring to his children as Christine's kids or Janelle's kids is bizarre and honestly pretty offensive. It feels like something you'd expect from a polygamist family, but that doesn't make it any less jarring. It may be more convenient for him to say it that way, but isn't it just a tiny bit more effort to say my children with Christine? For the sake of those kids' emotional well-being, wouldn't it make sense to make that small adjustment? Instead, Kody treats the children he fathered like pawns in some strange afterlife scenario. And let's face it, that's just messed up. Take Yisibel's spinal surgery, for example. Kody claims he couldn't go with her because it was too long to be away from his family. Hold on, didn't he just say she was part of his family? When he refers to Christine's kids or Janelle's kids, it's clear he's only considering Robyn and her children as his real family. By distancing himself from the others, he's making it crystal clear that he's not interested in being a father to any of them. Let's not forget that Kody's always favored Robyn and her kids. Why? Because he told her everything that was supposedly wrong with the first 3 wives and their children, and then Robyn, being the expert manipulator she is, molded her family to be the exact opposite. It's all just another example of Kody distancing himself from the other families, possibly at the behest of the production team. Maybe they told him to make it clear whose kids he was talking about, but if left to his own devices, he'd probably just say, my kids with Janelle or my kids with Christine. It's a longer phrase, sure, but at least it doesn't make him sound like a detached, self-centered jerk. Oh sure, Caleb was definitely like family. Right, Kody. Let's just gloss over the minor details here. Caleb's your son-in-law, the one you literally knighted, by the way. He's also the father of your 2.5 grandkids, your daughter's partner, and your brother's in-law. But hey, no big deal, right? It's totally fine to pretend that whole family thing doesn't mean much now that you've managed to wreck everything. Honestly, this guy's more upset about losing Caleb than he's been about losing any of his actual kids. I mean, come on, he's 100% more devastated about Caleb than he is about Maddie or their kids. And let's not even get started on how he's probably way more heartbroken over Caleb than he is over any of the OG3. Talk about misplaced priorities. So can we talk about Aurora for a second? Apparently, she already had her ears pierced in Vegas. What the actual heck? And no, they're not clip-ons. I zoomed in on the next frame. There are actual holes. Sorry, couldn't get a screenshot. But here's the kicker. She wasn't even 18 in Vegas. So much for that whole bonding story being real. Turns out it was more BS than I thought. Oh, and I added a picture in the comments because, of course, it wouldn't upload here. This is the kind of nonsense Robyn and Kody pull, thinking it's going to make the other families jealous. It's their little flex. But the truth? Nobody cares. Honestly, just divvy up the money, Robyn and Kody. That's all anyone wants to see at this point. If you pay attention before the piercing, you can hear Aurora hinting that it wasn't her idea to get her ears pierced. My guess? Robyn probably pushed for it, because content, of course. Gwen even mentioned in a YouTube post when she announced her engagement that Robyn scolded her for not waiting for the cameras. Oh, and remember that time I posted a picture of Aurora wearing earrings? I got roasted by people claiming they were clip-ons. So yeah, brace yourselves for that kind of response. But honestly, I do believe she had her ears pierced way before this whole ridiculous storyline was ever cooked up. Honestly, who cares about the births? They've spent an eternity filming My Kelty's twins, but I'd rather they focus on something slightly more interesting, like Janelle and Christine lawyering up or more interviews with the older kids. That stuff has actual drama, unlike the birth footage, which is clearly just filler. It's getting so predictable, it's almost laughable. And speaking of filler, did anyone else notice they recycled the exact same segment from the last episode, minus the couch interviews during game night? I literally had to check if I was watching the right episode because nothing seemed new. But I digress, because honestly, I don't care about the birthing scenes. I'd probably care a lot more if the show still had that "we're just a normal family, come along for the ride" vibe it used to have. Back then, the births would have felt like a big deal, especially after watching my Keltie grow up in what seemed like a happy home. But now, it's just 5 adults airing their dirty laundry, and oh look, my Keltie's here for some reason. The birth feels completely random and frankly, irrelevant. And let's be real, watching people give birth is boring. It's not like it's some grand mystery where babies come from. Spoiler alert, it's either the regular way or via the sunroof. Yawn. After slogging through the first half of the world's most boring episode yesterday, I was relieved to finally get to something that wasn't a complete snooze fest. The first half was just us listening to who said hello to each other at a wedding we never saw. Then the second half, Robyn and Kody playing Jenga while everyone talks more mind-numbing nonsense. The problem? No one on the show has anything remotely interesting going on anymore, so piecing together an hour of content is becoming impossible. Everyone keeps hoping for a Christine and Janelle spinoff, but let's be real, neither of them have enough going on to fill a full show, let alone half of one. Oh, Janelle's underrated moment? It's like TLC totally missed the memo on just how iconic that was, and it's pretty wild they didn't hype it up more. The scene that really gets to me is when the wives and Kody are hanging out with another polygamous family, casually talking about their periods. Yeah, you know, the typical "I'm so moody and unbearable" talk that somehow always circles back to the men chiming in with the same tired, stereotypical stuff. It's eye-roll central. But Janelle, she wasn't having any of it. At some point, she just dropped the line, "I'm going to leave if this is the topic of conversation." And of course, no one seemed to take her seriously. So what does she do? She literally gets up, walks away, and makes another snarky remark about how uncool it was before just leaving the whole dinner. This was the same Janelle who never stirs the pot, and she's over here making a point to call out the nonsense and bounce. It was such an out-of-character move, and yet TLC glossed over it like it was no big deal. Normally, in reality TV, when someone storms out of a dinner, they milk that scene for every drop of drama possible, showing it in every coming up next teaser and making it the highlight of the episode. But not here. They just kind of showed it. The wives gave a few lukewarm talking heads about it, and then poof, it was never mentioned again. No one seemed remotely concerned that Janelle walked out, like it was just another Tuesday. I mean, the lack of reaction to her making a statement and leaving was almost bizarre. But honestly, that's what made me respect Janelle even more. It's one thing to put up with something uncomfortable, but to stand your ground and walk away like that in front of everyone, that takes guts. She didn't force herself to endure something that didn't sit right with her, and that's honestly rare in reality TV. I've noticed this even more in my rewatch. Janelle has this subtle low-key sass that comes out when she's had enough. Like when Kody grabbed his mom's breakfast burrito before she even got a chance to unwrap it. He's over there talking about how everything that's hers is his. He grabs her hand and takes a big bite. And what does Janelle do? Just walks off without a word. You can almost hear the internal eye roll. It was like she just couldn't even deal with that level of ridiculousness. And the confessional facial expressions? Pure gold. Especially when Robyn is talking, Janelle's expressions are everything. I didn't notice just how much of that sass was lurking in the background until I started rewatching. Janelle is full of surprises, even when she's staying quiet. Kody's "I never loved you" line to Mary, total cop-out. Like, seriously, who actually believes that? In the beginning, he seemed genuinely affectionate toward her. It's hard to imagine that suddenly evaporating into "I never loved you." But here's the thing. Kody says stuff like that to protect his ego. Saying "I never loved you" is a neat little way of telling himself and everyone else, "It's not my fault you're leaving," or "I was the one who rejected you first." It's almost like he's trying to convince himself that his actions don't make him look bad, as if saying "I never loved you" somehow makes everything less painful for him. But let's be real. Admitting he loved her at one point would make him the one who failed, and Kody's not about to admit that. If he were to admit that he loved Mary, it would show that he was the one who let the marriage slip, not her. It would make him the one who walked away first, and we all know Kody's been hoping Mary would do the walking for years. Now, let's throw in the whole soulmate thing, which really adds another layer of confusion. According to Kody's nephew, their religion believes everyone has a soulmate in heaven, but a third of the men sided with the devil, leaving a third of the women without one. That's where these extra wives come in, Kody's way of helping out, apparently. At the start, Kody called Mary his soulmate and Robyn, of course, later calls Kody hers. So Kody's whole "I was tricked by Mary" angle? It's a little less about her unlikable traits, because let's face it, we all hide those, and more about the idea that if Robyn's his real soulmate, Mary couldn't have been his. Therefore, he didn't love her, because, well, she wasn't his soulmate. She was just the one he got stuck with before he realized Robyn was the one. 10 to 12 years into their marriage, as Mary herself put it. So, Robyn claims that she had several proposals before Kody, but turned them down because she was waiting for someone who could offer polygamy. Sure, Robyn. Let's go with that. Honestly, though, I'm not buying it. Let's be real. Robyn wasn't about to marry anyone who couldn't provide her with a certain lifestyle. Remember her first marriage? She clearly had a hard time living within her means. So, unless some wealthy guy came along, there was no way she was trading in her dream life for a trailer park. And honestly, think about it. What if she had said yes to Kody, but the show got canceled? Do you think she would have followed through with that wedding? She saw how the original wives and kids were living, and let's face it, she wasn't about to sign up for that life. She was promised money and a lifestyle that would keep her in the lap of luxury. Her claims just don't add up. Let's talk about the contradictions in the book. Robyn tries to paint herself as some kind of prize, but I don't buy it for a second. A recently divorced mom of 3, who was buried in debt, was not exactly the hottest commodity out there. She had nothing to offer, but maybe the stuff she was buying at Victoria's Secret to squeeze into her diesel jeans. And honestly, in all 18 seasons of this show, what has she actually contributed? Nothing that I can see. And then there's the story in the book where Kody says they needed to take their relationship slow. He spins some excuse, and then, out of nowhere, Robyn blurts out that some wealthy old guy from church had been courting her. Kody's shocked, grabs her, and suddenly promises they'll marry ASAP because obviously he couldn't let someone else have her. But here's the thing, no one else was trying to court Robyn. The only guy who probably showed any interest was an older, probably desperate man, and I'm guessing she wasn't exactly thrilled by that prospect. It's all just lies. They can't even keep their story straight. The whole thing is revisionist history. Just like the fake, happy polygamist family they tried to portray on TV for all those years, it was all a lie. Robyn was just a broke, uneducated, single mom of 3. Not exactly a catch by any stretch. She used whatever little physical appeal she had to latch onto Kody, who was clearly drawn to the shiny new toy idea. She took advantage of that immature, clueless guy and ran with it. Let's be real. There was maybe one old, unattractive polygamist man who showed the slightest interest, and I'm guessing that terrified Robyn. Okay, let's be real for a second. Who seriously rearranged their entire evening just to ensure they have the time and, let's be honest, the energy to stay up past 10 p.m. for the new season of Sister Wives. Because I have. Snacks? Check. Popcorn, Cheetos, and wine. ready to go. It's like a life event, people. So let's hear it. What's got you most excited for this season? And go. As for me? Oh, I did all my chores and errands yesterday, because clearly that's what responsible adults do. Snacks? Check. But honestly, I'm just bracing myself for the inevitable disappointment. I mean, it's the Sister Wives premiere. Does it ever not leave us questioning life? But hey, I'll be watching it tomorrow. You know, when I drag myself out of bed at 3 a.m. to go to work. I'll absorb most of it passively, but don't worry. I'll rewatch it after work to catch all those important details I missed the first time. Because priorities, right? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.